We're good?
Okay. Yeah, we're rolling.
Awesome.
All right.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Lauren Rachel Talk Show. I am with my friend Chad Miller, one of the funniest people I know.
One of the least funny people I know, but thank you.
He's also very humble, so we appreciate that about you. Thanks for being here.
Sure,
Thanks for
thanks
hanging
for having
out.
me. Yeah,
Glad you found me.
I always enjoy coming to downtown Phoenix.
Who doesn't love that during rush hour? Aren't you glad I picked 7 o'clock? Could have done 6 or 5.
Yeah, and I'll let you know I put on a pair of pants just for you because I was
Okay.
like, it's not as bad now, but when I was leaving the house, it was like upper 90s, and I'm like, look, bitch, I'm gonna wear some shorts.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I was going to wear like a studded jacket. I'm like, he likes a rock vibe. I'll wear that. And I was like, I'm not wearing a jacket.
The chucks, I like that.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do the jacket for you, though. I was like, I'm going to be sweltering. So, perfect timing. Cheers to that.
Yes, the fake beers, yeah.
But it looks cool.
Does it, though?
Do you sell that by a lot of playgrounds? How does that work?
I haven't tried. I'm not pushing my luck on that. Are you kidding me?
Right? Are you allowed in your playgrounds? You're good.
Yeah,
You're good.
Yeah.
Then you're fine.
Yeah.
That's our gauge in life, how we're doing.
It depends. No matter what people say about me, I'm still allowed around playgrounds.
Exactly. And then my other gauge for how we're doing in life is if we're ordering from Uber Eats or delivering.
I don't do. I'm too much of a control freak for Uber Eats.
Oh, you're like some stranger had my shepherd's pie.
It's not that. It's like my son's mom still does all the delivery stuff, like grocery delivery.
Yes.
I can't do it because I'm that anal. I'm like these people are shoppers. They don't know.
Right.
They're just grabbing what's on the list. They're not looking to see what's the marbling like on that tri-tip I got? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
How's the steak?
Daddy, take a look at that steak.
This is fruit moldy.
There.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I did use it a lot. Instacart. I had like a back injury, like not to be. Let's talk about my injuries now. But like it was a nice little perk for a while. But then people would just buy weird shit and just throw whatever in the cart, and I'm like, I don't remember ordering marshmallows.
Yeah.
But hey.
Yeah, I got like a whole 5-pound bag of potatoes with my order one time, and I was like, I don't know what the hell. I'm like,
you didn't order potatoes?
I live alone. Like I don't. I mean, they saw the last name Miller. They just assumed I'm Irish. Like, what? I don't.
You didn't paint them like Easter eggs or anything?
No, I didn't do that.
Did you eat French fries for 5 years?
Yeah, I made some soup. I make a pretty bitchin' potato soup.
You put it to good use.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I've done delivery stuff too. That's before our wedding. We were a little in over our heads. So here's the thing with weddings.
Sure.
You sign contracts with different vendors, and then they kept adding shit on. Like my florist killed my flowers, like stuff like that. Didn't tell me she killed the flowers, just said that we had a miscalculation in how many flowers we needed. Like 5 days for
we had a miscalculation on whether they would live or die.
Yeah. And I had to pay for more flowers, and then I had to pay for tents because it was gonna rain, all this shit. So it ended up being like 10 grand over budget, and we had like weeks left. So we were doing every odd job besides selling drugs. I think we even did that, honestly. We doesn't count.
Yeah, speaking of playgrounds, you're like be surprised how much those junior high kids like the cocaine.
Oh, God. Right?
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Have you had any odd jobs in your life?
I did clean carpets for like a few jobs. A buddy of mine owned a carpet cleaning company. This was like shortly after I graduated high school, and I didn't know what the. What? By the way, are there any language?
Yeah, whatever.
Well,
I just post these things, and I say not for kids.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was in a spot like you were saying, and so he's like, well, I have this carpet cleaning business, and I was like, well, I've never done that. He's like, it really isn't that. You just put the shit on the carpet and then
push it.
He's like, you vacuumed a floor or two, right? And I'm like, yeah, I think I figured it out. And man, does that job suck.
Yeah, I'll bet. Any crime scenes?
Sucks. No, but we did do like an old folks home, so there was, there was fluids in the floor. Yeah, yeah,
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it was kind of crime scene-y a little bit sometimes, but
we had like a hazmat van pull into our neighborhood once. It was, I think it said something on it that made it sound like somebody died. Like it was like a weird cleanup crew kind of label on the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, just. Yeah,
interesting.
I was like, wow, what's going on? It's a great way to meet the neighbors. I'm like, there's tape, around this block. It's alarming.
That's
I live in Anthem. You know that, right?
Yeah.
It's a Shit
So I
happens in
imagine you
Anthem.
were the talk of the town.
I
but-
bet. Yeah. Well, my husband's not helping. Like he goes to get the mail in a bathrobe and a top hat. I'm like, you're not helping with the rumors and the weirdness. Like it's not
Yeah, I mean,
like our front door light's a black light bulb, but like I let him do the manly stuff. I guess I could change the bulb, but I'm like, I don't know what message that sends other than
black
that we
light
liked.
bulb. I don't
Well,
know.
we had
what
it out there for Halloween, but then we left it out there for like a year and a half.
and now it's just a thing.
Now
You're
it's just a thing, but it's like a party every day. You know, we have a lot of disco balls in our house.
Right.
I usually decorate the set with that, but I think this is kind of a cute little spring vibe we got going on today. So
Yeah.
I didn't feel like you were a disco ball kind of guy, so
I mean, I could be.
It depends on
who
the day.
doesn't like disco balls?
right. It says party.
Yeah.
So carpet cleaning. Okay, was that the
Yeah.
worst job ever?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
That was pretty bad.
We ever worked in like
Never
any
did
kind-
fast food. Never did retail.
Oh yeah, I did all those. It's terrible.
I did. Well, I did actually. I take that back. I taught high school drumline for a while. Shortly after high school.
Is that the same thing as the marching band?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
it was
like the
for
way you
marching
call
band.
it. I like your label, drumline.
Well, that's what they call it.
All right.
That's the technical term. Not to
We'll go
brag.
with it.
But
Not to brag, girl.
but yeah, but dealing with parents, man. And this was
Like band parents? Are they
in
crazy?
yeah. But so I only had to
Wow.
deal with them, and this was ironically right when I was starting to get into stand up. So this was in Tucson, and I got a guest set at Laughs Comedy Cafe, like one of my first.
Cool. I
And it
haven't
was-
been there yet.
This was smooth.
I hear good things.
I was dating a gal at the time, and this was like our second date, and I knew I'd had a guest set booked, and I asked her out for that night, and she was like, well, yeah, what are we gonna do? I was like, well, do you like comedy clubs, like blah blah blah? So I didn't say anything to her. I didn't tell her at all. And we
Oh,
sat. I had him sit
you
us
got
not
up?
front row, but like kind of second row, third row,
kind of
like
thing, yeah.
close.
Yeah, sure.
And so the show's going on. We're having a good time. Host gets done,
That's cute.
and before he brings the feature act up, for those of you watching at home, the feature act is the middle
Okay.
performer. And
And were you the headliner?
no. I
Oh.
just did a guest set. I was brand new,
Oh, okay.
so I was just doing 5 minutes on the show.
Okay.
And so we're having a good time. Like our drinks just got there, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, we got a special guest. Give it up for Chad Miller." And she looks at me. She's like, "Wait, your name's Chad Miller?" Like that's.
But
She's
that's
looking
your
around.
name.
This is weird. Is there another guy? And I was like, "I'll be right back." Kind of, and like
Oh, how
did that
cute.
kind of
I
thing.
love
Like,
that.
yeah.
Oh,
like,
it's like a rom com.
and ate shit
Oh,
for
that's
5 minutes.
so
yeah.
cute though. Were you
Yeah.
nervous in front of her? Was that part
No, I just wasn't any good.
of it?
Yeah.
Speaking of not being any good, I had to perform in front of a bunch of children yesterday.
No
Yesterday,
thanks.
Mother's Day?
Sunday? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man. And
No
it took me
thanks.
2.5 hours to get there. Locally, by the way. Local club.
Where was this?
From Anthem to Mic Drop Mania because they closed the 17. And there's
Oh.
no way out of our town. There's no way out.
Yeah, so you had to do all surface streets, right?
Oh, and they wouldn't even let me out. And like they're big planters, so you couldn't even make a U-turn. Like one girl gave me the finger, and I was like, I know where you live. Yeah, I left at 11:40 to try to get there at 1, and I got there after 2. It was rough.
Yikes.
It was rough. Yeah, and then I get there, and it's like 8-year-old. I knew there was gonna be children, but
Oh.
it was a lot. It
That-
wasn't my favorite.
See, now that
It
if
was a good time.
if
It was
I
a good
had
time.
done a show like that, I would. When you asked me what's the worst job I've ever had,
With
dick
children?
jokes in front of kids. Yeah,
Yes,
because
yes.
I look and I
it's an awkward mix.
see. I've been doing this. I've been doing this like long enough to where you would think I would have like a completely clean
It's-
set, like church
yeah.
clean set, but I don't
Yeah.
because I have no like.
Well, and here's the thing: clean versus G, very different.
No, that's what I mean. Like G-rated,
This
like
was G. This was
no.
well, and I originally said yes to it, and it's okay. I don't mind a challenge, and it's good to have that way. I have those things in my back pocket
Sure.
should I need to. The guy wrote me, the booker wrote me, he wrote 9+. I thought he meant the time.
Oh, but that was the age.
That was the age. I was like, sure, and I
No.
was like, and then I went to the website, and I was like, oh, age is 9 and up.
See, I like.
Yeah,
I just have.
so I did it.
Because I have friends of mine,
It's fine.
like I
It's
have
fun.
friends of mine that work cruise ships, and they
Yes.
had to do sets in front of kids,
G.
but
They have
they're
a G
like,
show, a PG-13, I think, and an R.
yeah, depending on the line you have,
Yes.
depending on the cruise line you're on.
Yeah.
Like,
Carnival does that.
and for me, I'm like, man, I would do it. Like, if that was like, well, you can either be on the ship or not on, or you can
Yeah.
take the gig or not. Yeah, but like up until recently, I had not lobbied that hard to be on cruise ships, and when I did work on a cruise ship, I was really lucky where the only thing I was told was don't say fuck a lot.
Okay.
And
It's
because
doable.
it was a cabaret, like it was a comedy cabaret
Oh,
show.
cool.
So like,
Was it Virgin or something? Cruise line?
no, it was Celebrity.
Oh, cool.
And there used to be a club in Vegas.
I didn't know you'd done a cruise ship. That's cool.
That, yeah, it was wow, it was the best year of stand up I ever did. I did a month long tour of Europe for the military.
Okay.
And then
Awesome.
right when I got back, like not 2 weeks later, I get a call from a guy that books this club in Texas. And he said, "Hey, I know, you had said you maybe want to do some different kind of work and stuff." He's like, "Would you want to?" He goes, "I can get you a host on a cruise ship." And he said, "This is what
Cool.
it paid." And I was like, "Okay, that works for me." And I only had to do 10 minutes.
Oh, awesome.
And it
And
was
you get
like
to
10
travel.
minutes. And then it was, there was a dancer on the show, a burlesque dancer.
That's cool.
So I came out, just did like a quick little intro. Hey, what's going on? How are you? This is the show we've got. And then I'd bring up the dancer immediately, who would do, it was burlesque, so it wasn't like titties are out or nothing. But
Sure. We have fans. We do the fans.
yeah, it was
Feather fans.
really, it was a really cool concept.
This is
actually.
my dance. See, this is why they don't hire me. This is my dance move.
That is very white girl of you.
Isn't it?
It is.
Have you seen my really bad twerking on stage?
Yes, I have. Yes.
I think we all have by now,
I was
right?
hoping you weren't going to bring that up. No.
It's supposed to be an up and down. I really just do a right to left. Yeah.
You know what,
you.
man? Do you, boo boo? There's different techniques.
So okay.
So
how did it go?
then I came back out, did 10 minutes, then brought the dancer back up, and then came back out, brought the headliner up. Bang, show's over. An hour-long show because the headliner only did like 30 minutes.
Nice. That's the best.
And then we only had to do like on a 12-day cruise, we did like 3, maybe 4 shows.
That's awesome. That was a good time. Where'd you go on the cruise?
Huh?
Where'd you go on the cruise? Did you say?
Mediterranean.
Neat. That's
So
fun.
it was ridiculous. Like it was, I spent I literally, when I was doing my taxes and stuff at the end of the year, I was out of the country for half the fucking year this year. That's wild.
That's so cool.
And then now I'm pouring drinks in Mesa.
But if you decide you want to do the travel thing again, it's back up. Did you kind of stop because we had like 2020? I took a couple years off.
No, this was before then.
Okay.
My son, who's 21 now, like when he right around 13, 14, I was gone like 40 some weeks a year up until that point, like constantly.
Yeah,
not like
hard.
all week, you know what I mean? Sometimes it'd just be a weekend
Yeah.
gig and then I'd be back and then
Right.
but
I get it.
but I was booked like over 40 weeks a year, and so I hardly saw my kid, and I was like, this is bullshit, man. This is not being a father.
That's
So
nice,
I took myself off the road full time.
I was wondering about that, so I was going to ask you today. Okay.
And then to be at home and
nice.
pick him up from school and do doctor's appointments and all that shit, because he has autism.
Sure.
And he's going to be dependent on somebody probably for the rest of his life.
I understand.
So
that's tough, but that's really nice.
Well, I mean, he's my son. That's what I
Yes.
should do.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Otherwise, what am I doing? But
Right.
But then we had to
That is
the
nice
mom-
because society guys sometimes get a pass with that stuff, especially in entertainment. So that's
sure, and especially in that
Sure.
community too, because
Absolutely. Comedy
at his school,
we're known for being dirtbags, Chad.
well, that and like special needs too.
Absolutely.
Like there were so many times where like I'd be waiting in the to pick him up after school, and I'd see maybe one dad. Like maybe I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing, man?
Right.
Like I know not everybody. Like said the guy who was gone 40 weeks a year.
Sure.
But, I mean, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. But like, I'd be like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Like you don't.
A career
I don't
thing,
know.
yeah. My dad was the guy that came home in a suit at 10 o'clock at night, so I didn't get to really know him until he was in
That's
his
what I mean,
60s.
right? Yeah.
Like we had a relationship when I was in college and he was in his 60s because
Okay.
like he was Mr. Corporate and we didn't know each other and he didn't have a relationship with my
And
brother really at
that's the thing. Like that's
Yeah.
part of what I was getting at with the comedy for kids. It's like
Yeah.
I never wanted to do that. People were like, you're all these comedy experts in the social media groups and everything. Like we've talked about that off
Yes.
stage. Like
Yes.
people that have been doing comedy for 5 minutes that all of a sudden
Experts.
know everything about
Yes.
like, well, seriously, the headliner should do this amount of time, and it's like, shut the fuck up,
Yeah,
dude.
you know,
Have you
yeah.
have you ever? And I only say this like I'm a like there it used to be like a delineation between are you an LA comic or you a road comic? Like, are you
Right.
trying to be famous or are you just
Sure.
or you wanting to do clubs? And I always was loud and proud, like I'm a road comic. Like I love to travel. I love
Travel
walking
and
into a
yeah.
place like like I don't know, Little Rock, Arkansas, right?
Mhm.
Or somewhere in Alabama. Like nobody knows who I am. Nobody knows who
Mhm.
what like they just see this walking, talking hot topic. You know what I mean? Like
Hot topic ad.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I
Love the
mean,
leg warmers, man.
yeah, right? Like so and they're like, okay,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this going to
Yeah.
be about,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
And then, but then you can
Yeah.
find some connection there in 45 minutes, and at the end of the night,
Sure.
you've made new friends, and you've like, there's people, there's a couple that live in Iowa that, hey, JD and Melissa, I love you guys, that I've known for years that I know them through coming to a show. In fact, he was the first one. My merch, the Asian symbol that I have on,
Yeah.
like you've seen that.
Your dirty
He
sticker
was
that's on
the
my book.
first. He was the first one that got it tattooed on
Oh
him.
wow. That's
And
funny.
I wake up, I'm
It
in
is
my
funny.
yeah. I mean, shit. It's
I didn't notice it
paid
at
the
first, but
bills
it's
like for yeah. It's subtle. That's what I like.
it's a
Well,
subtle, sexy
sort of.
symbol.
It's like it's sort of subtle. I mean, I think it's pretty goddamn obvious. But some
Yeah.
people have asked me, so what does it mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it just look at it like
yeah.
it.
Yeah. To be fair,
It's for the if you haven't seen it, it's I got really stoned one night and got loose with Photoshop and some Japanese kanji, and I rearranged them to look like two people having sex.
It's awesome.
Is
It's
the
funny.
gist of the thing, and it's
Funny.
doggy style. Happens to
it's
be the
funny.
position. So when people ask me what does it mean, I just say it's year of the dog. That's what it means. So,
That's great.
So, but like
Yeah.
I'm sitting in my room and like in where was it? Like Cedar Rapids, Iowa, or someplace like that. You know, big towns.
Yeah, I've been to Miami, Oklahoma, so I
And
understand.
woo,
I was
how very
hot
cosmopolitan.
ticket there.
I bet.
I didn't perform comedy there. I was there for something else, but I was like, oh my god, I felt like there was paparazzi at any moment. I was like, oh, excuse
I
me.
know. Look at this. Yes, these are eyelashes. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. The women had mullets in that town, so I was quite the star.
I bet.
But continue.
I bet that was when I lived in Wyoming for a minute.
Ooh, I lived in Utah. I feel you. I used to go to your town for fireworks and porn.
People would go, yeah, right. I mean, people would come up to me and they're like, "You're not from here, are you?" They can just tell. Like,
I got that in Pine Top last month.
Right? Yeah.
Like, are you the performer? I was like, how'd you know?
Yeah, because you don't look like us.
Right.
Is the thing.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
But I've always loved that about comedy is that my first love, the love of my life, I thought was going to be drumming. Like I thought I wanted to be.
That's cool.
When I was like about 10 years old, my sister gave me her old record player.
Oh.
Yes, I was born in the 1900s.
Same.
So she gave me her old record player, and I almost hate to admit this, but the first record I bought with my own money was Sean Cassidy's "Da Do Ron Ron."
Ooh.
Remember that song?
You paid for it?
Yeah,
All
I saved up
right.
my allowance for that
You were
song,
little.
bitch. Yeah. I was like 10.
Yeah, oh, that makes sense. That's
So
fair.
I come home. I'm in my room and I'm jamming out to Sean Cassidy, and my sister gets home from work and she walks by my room and hears this going on, and she's like, "No fucking way! Like, no, he's gonna change his name to Caitlin. I know it. If I don't intervene here." And
were you borrowing the shoes too, or
no,
Okay.
but But here's what's funny. She was like, I gotta intervene, and
Make him cooler.
yeah, and
Okay.
so she gave me all of her old Kiss records.
Cool.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing the name of the band right. It's Kiss.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, wait a minute. So you thought Sean Cassidy was gay, but you're giving me dudes in makeup and platform heels? Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I digress.
My brother's your age, and he had me listening to Twisted Sister. We're not going to take it.
Oh, I love that. I
video,
love them
though.
too. Yeah,
I
was playing Wasp at the bar I work at the other night. Yeah,
hair bands.
yeah. Although
That's
it was
cool.
funny, I managed to work in. I was at work yesterday, which after I came off the road touring full time, I was like, well, what the hell am I going to do? So I decided to buck the stereotype, being an entertainer and go into the food service industry.
Absolutely, they go together.
Yeah, I thought I'd be a rebel and go from stand up to bartending. Like that's never happened before.
You're paid to talk all the time, and that's okay.
And I do kind of get to work material because all my material is like storytelling. Like, so it's not like I'm not one of those dudes. It's always like, hey, can I run this by you? Because God, that drives me nuts. Like I hate when you're waiting on a show or something like that, and it's like, hey, can I run this by? Or worse is when you're on the road, like you're at a comedy club, and they put you up in a condo, so you're sharing a house or an apartment with the other comics.
Sometimes that you
so
don't
you're
know.
Stuck there. Yeah. Almost all the times you don't know. Yes. Like, and there was this one dude. I was working in this club in Oklahoma, and this dude, his whole act was impressions. And when he was like, when he found out, he was like, "Oh, you do impressions too?" And so like but like I don't do a lot of them on stage because I don't want to be like, and here's Beavis and Butthead and Peter Griffin on a camping trip. Like I didn't want to do that hacky like setup. Like, but he literally in the condo, like
doing the voices.
Yes, he'd be like, "You want to go grab something to eat, Bobby? God dang it!" And I'm like, "Would you shut the fuck up?"
Like, I need a break from the voices.
Stop it! I'm like, I don't book anything. Dude.
Like,
stop
I'm not
it.
a producer.
No,
thank you.
I'm not gonna get you on I can't. I don't have that kind of stroke.
That's awkward. The people you meet.
I know, and so
I'm gonna start just traveling directly though. I've had a good time with my friends, but I'd like to stay friends with people, and people get moody on the road, traveling like road trips and stuff together.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I am an eternal optimist, and I like to be happy. And like when you came in, I was like, "You having a good day? You go." Like that's how I am.
Right.
Imagine 8 hours of that. Oh
well,
yeah,
that's fine. I mean, I don't
without a drink or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like
a ray of sunshine.
But you're right.
Right up your ass.
There is like on that military tour, there was one of the comics and and he's a guy I've known for years. Like,
you gotta know each other's nerves.
And he wanted to beat the fuck out of me one day because my music cues. I use music cues in my act, and I love that. So high tech. I use an iPod, an iPod Shuffle, because I make that kind of cash.
It was cool though. I saw it.
And somehow it was in my pocket, and the button.
Oh no! It did it during
play.
His act.
And he was on stage, and there was like music playing in the background, and we couldn't figure out what it was. I wasn't in the room at the time, so their friends.
Were you like outside smoking, and your pockets going off?
Yeah, and they like so they
but
were.
Like I would have made it part of my act and like just done like. When,
but he's not that guy. He's not that guy.
How long was it going? Like 10 minutes?
Yeah, his entire set. Yeah. Almost. And so it was like random
I can
shit.
See why
like,
that's a little annoying. Sure,
and they couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And I was like, nobody thought to look over at my fucking iPod. I mean, I guess I could have taken a little better care of it, but he kept saying, because he's one of those dudes that pores over his notes before the show. And I'm like, you're telling the same stuff every show. You've done these jokes like a million times. Like, how many fucking notes do you need, bro?
Right. Yeah, I get that.
But everybody's prep is different, and that's what I enjoy about comedy.
So you still friends, not so much?
Yeah, we're still good friends.
You're good friends now?
Yeah, we've always been good friends.
Did he send you an iPod for Christmas?
No.
That would have been funny.
I don't think he, no.
That would have been funny. Vicky Barbalak and I got a cookie fight.
Yeah, what?
We got a little tiff about cookies because I said I wanted to buy cookies. She's like, you don't need the cookies, and now she's like, I feel so bad. I told you didn't need the cookies.
Wow, that's pretty.
She's sweet though.
Wow, that's
I
pretty
can't. I'm
aggressive.
never gonna complain. She's been more than kind to me. It was very
No, I
funny.
know,
It was
but I
very
mean
funny.
but see, comics are like that though. Like we're
She's just funny. Like she
just
was just being sarcastic, and then afterwards she was like, I feel really bad. I said that about the cookies.
okay.
I was
Well,
like,
that
hey,
was
honey,
nice. That
you know what? It's okay. I know where I'm at in life. I did. It's okay. And you're just looking out for me because she looks fabulous. She looks fucking fantastic. And
yeah.
and she looks really good. Yeah, she's gotten in the best shape of her life, I think, and she looks fantastic. So I think she
Oh,
wants that for me too, kind of thing. Totally get it.
I
And
got
she's
you.
done nothing but take care of me, so I can't. Give, but it's just been funny, and I've been on road trips with people where we weren't in the car together or anything, but other people I've driven with, like we were just ready to kill each other because we're driving in the middle of the night, and like I have
Yeah.
night blindness, and my friend didn't know that, and then she had to drive away, and I was like, well, I just didn't know it was in your plan that I was going to drive in the middle of
At
the
night.
night. No,
Yeah, I
I just thought I
guess.
was like your co-pilot kind of thing. Like I thought I was like the GPS friend. Like,
Oh, I got you. I got you.
yeah,
So
I
how are
don't.
you getting home tonight then?
I'm okay in cities, but like for example,
Oh.
driving between here and Nevada, not great. Like I
Oh
can't
yeah,
see
because
very
it
far
gets
ahead of me,
dark as shit. Like
right?
you
Because there's
get
no street lights, so I have a hard time.
right.
I'm fine in cities. I'm
So you
not
get,
great like up in the mountains or like big stretches of road in the middle of nowhere.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
I'm always like a bundle of nerves driving in the middle of nowhere that I'm gonna hit a deer.
yes,
Like that
I've
hasn't
hit a coyote or something before
that I haven't hit
in
any
Utah.
livestock
Yes,
or any kind of wild
yeah,
animals in my travels yet, which
yeah.
is insane.
In the last month, I've been diverted to dirt roads twice, and that's never a fun surprise.
Yeah, I remember you posting that one when you were coming back from Vegas, and
Yeah,
I
it was
was like,
bad.
"Yo,
Yeah,
you're gonna walk right into the Texas Chainsaw
that's what I
Massacre or
felt like. I
something."
was
I
like, I
go,
hear
"Yeah,
the faint sound of banjos on this road trip. I
yeah."
was by
Like
myself. I'm like, oh, this is not smart.
there was I was going through Kansas one time, and
Ooh,
I got in town. The club was in Topeka, and it was this weird. It was a bar that had like its own separate kind of like what is it, Tosos here
yes.
locally.
Oh, it's like a separate room,
Kind of they have it's a
but it's
bar that
not
has a
quite
separate
soundproof.
room. No, well, this one had its own. It was a door. It was like you couldn't really hear what was going
Okay,
on in the club. So,
good.
but the weird, it was right across the like not even a quarter of a mile from the Westboro Baptist Church.
Oh,
The ones that protest, pardon the word, but this is what they were known for. They were the God hates fags people.
oh no! Right in front
They
of you.
literally
Was that going on in front,
they
like during your show?
no no
Okay.
no no. But that was like their whole
You should have been like,
slogan.
what
I
do you
know
think
that
about
word. I know
comedians?
people hear that word, and I'm
No,
like,
I get it. No,
but
but that's what their sign said.
but
Yeah,
that's
it
what
wasn't a good look.
they were on the
They weren't
news.
great
Like
poster
that's
children
how
for
everybody
Christians.
knew
Yeah,
them
yeah, that wasn't
because
good.
they'd go to like militaries, like there
It's not a
was
good look. We're supposed to love
fallen
everybody.
fallen military people
Yeah.
that their funerals
Oh no.
and be protesting with
That's
these fucking
gross.
signs,
That's
and they're
gross.
scumbags,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Like just
gross.
total scumbags.
I'm not a big fan of any of
And
the
so
protests lately.
I was always like, I want to go. Like when I was there, I was like, I really want to go fuck with these people, but I never did because I'm like,
And you're a man with a megaphone at times, so that you would have been ready.
yeah, I would have been able to combat there. Of course, they probably had a bigger megaphone.
Yes.
Mine is a $10 at Harbor Freight.
That's all you need. It's how
But
you use it, Chad.
so I got in town a day earlier, and I was going to do a guest set over at the club in Kansas City.
Uh-huh.
So I was such a wedge at the time. I didn't want to pay any tolls. So I took these back roads down through in Kansas, and I'm driving along the state highway, and I see. I'll show you a picture of it later, but I think I'm pretty sure it's on my Facebook. It's not important. I took a picture of it, and it was called Fantasy Gentlemen's Club,
Oh.
and it was like a single wide trailer.
No.
Yeah.
It was a strip club that was a trailer?
Yeah, it was in
That's
the
a
middle
thing.
of nowhere on this dark desert highway.
Wow.
But it was the sketchiest looking fucking strip club.
Wow.
And so I pulled over and I sat in my car. I felt like Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'm like, I'll go. No,
gotta
I'm
see
not.
this.
But
The
I was like,
trailers are
no,
rocking.
no. I was like, this is how I'm going to get murdered. Like this.
Wow.
This is the the honey trap that you know what I mean.
Wow.
That they.
Yeah, they try to get us to go to some.
Hey, they got titties over here. Pull over, man. Like, yeah.
I was in Pahrump, Nevada, and I went and did a show. I was with Cricket Gill, and then Stoner.
Give
we
the
were
governor
doing
a
the show.
harumph.
Yeah, we were
So-
trying to do the show was it was Stoner Rob's show, and it was in Pahrump. It was a good show. It was fine, but they were wanting us to go to some bunny ranch or something to check it out, just for the stories.
Oh.
I'm kind of glad we didn't go
Mm.
because I was like, I'm thinking to myself, it's late, it's late, it's late. It's like it's 2 a.m. This is I don't know. I don't feel like it was gonna end well. Like we weren't in Vegas, we were in
Yeah.
Pahrump, so I was like, what is this gonna? It's gonna be the B Squad. Like it's gonna.
Well, but I think
Yeah.
all of those are. I think they have to be outside of Vegas city limits, though.
I don't know. I don't know
The-
how that works. I haven't
the-
asked for an escort lately. I don't know.
I
have friends that dabble.
well, my bachelor party was in Vegas.
Okay.
We didn't do any of that business
Were
there.
you golfing?
But my buddy, no, we
Okay.
went to bars. What do you tell you? It was my
I
bachelor
know you're
party.
not
like,
golfing.
I'm terrible at golf, but see, listening to your wedding story, I was like, yeah, I didn't want to say anything, but I didn't have any of that. We went to Vegas, did the Elvis thing just because we thought it was hilarious, and then
We
her
might do
mom,
that as a second one.
her mom actually got me a gift years later, an Elvis type gift, because she thought like I was a big Elvis fan. And I'm like,
You don't know. It's
like,
funny.
no, we just went because they were like the Bible thumping, like super
Yes.
Christian with like
Oh.
the cape and everything, like
They have oh, okay.
like they are
Like,
in
which
it
one
to
is
win
that?
it,
The
kid.
capes?
Like they, yeah, right. Like I've heard of the people that speak in tongues, but the
Yes.
capes,
Damon brought me to one of those once, and I was like, all right. And I asked him. I said, "Is there going to be anything weird?"
oh, the tongues thing.
I asked him before we went. This was
Wow.
up in Prescott, and I was like, "Is there going to be anything weird before we go there?" He's like, "No, no, no." But see, he had been going late. He'd been showing up late, so he missed their
So
big
he missed
intro.
the big,
And that was the intro. That
thing
and like
that-
they were like dancing in the aisles and with the scarves. Like I'm all about the non-denominational stuff for me personally.
sure.
I don't like where it's like they add any weird man-made stuff. For me, it's not my jam. So they're dancing
didn't
and
it
they're
seem to go
twirling things. And I'm like, I was like, Jamie, I can't do this with a straight face. We've got to get out of here. I'm not going to be respectful. I don't want to laugh. They're going to hear me laugh.
Right.
So I was like, we got to get out of here. I can't hold it. I can't hold it. And he's like, are you serious? I was like, they're dancing in the aisle. We got to go.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like squeezing his leg. I'm squeezing him.
Betty May is cutting a rug, like she's shaking it like a Polaroid. Like,
My
come
brother
on,
went
man.
to one of those in Florida for some reason. There was some family event or something he went to for a friend. And he said that the lady was like flopping around on the floor. He's like, she flopped on my shoe. I just was like, oh.
Was it the whole devil come
Yes,
out
yes,
kind of
it
thing?
was like one of those.
Oh,
But you never know when you're like in the South or in Florida, that kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
you know, there's big differences, like, you know, like CCV compared to something like that. Like, it's, like,
right.
it's a wide array.
You
There's
don't
a
know if
wide
it's
array.
like
So,
if it's
yeah.
like because
But,
I would like to see
yeah.
like the southern, like the black churches. Like
That's
I
a
would love
blast.
to go to that.
I've been.
See,
got to
now
wear my
that I
cute
would
hat.
definitely go through.
They
like,
were very nice. It was in. I went in Atlanta. It was a blast.
and
Yeah.
but like the ones that that are like there's snakes and they're
That's
like
Florida.
that kind of stuff.
Florida.
It's like,
All the
well, of
reptiles
course
are in
it-
Florida.
Yeah, of course. I should have known. I walked
Yeah.
right into that.
I
one.
watched a story yesterday. There was a news report, Facebook. This isn't Facebook news. This guy.
Isn't that the same
That-
thing in this day and age? Come
But
on.
the best headline: this guy got arrested for bringing a crocodile on a beer run, and he had it under his arm. Went and bought alcohol with this thing, and he's like, I don't know where I got that gator. I don't remember anything. Like, there's footage of him running in there with like wrestling this thing, trying to buy a 6-pack, holding it under one arm.
And he's like, settle down,
Yes.
Jasper. We
Yes.
need more natty light. Like
He was
you know what
acting
I
like
mean?
it was a dog. Yes.
Jeez.
And it's this giant.
I'm glad I quit drinking now that I
Right.
think about it.
I mean, great
Because
stories.
I oh yeah, I do have.
Oh,
I do
that
have a lot of
reminds
good
me.
stories.
I want to hear. It's you mentioned little bits of this, but it's my favorite story I've heard you tell is about when you went to Europe. You were doing like a military tour, right?
Oh yeah, I know which one you want. Yeah, I almost got arrested.
You know
in
what I want.
Germany. Yeah,
Almost got arrested in Germany.
Germany.
Okay.
And it was on the military tour, and see, this is why it's a good thing I quit drinking is because I was white girl wasted.
Two White Claws in.
We did. We ain't no drinking laws when you're drinking claws, Lauren. Come on now.
Exactly.
We were in Stuttgart,
Ooh.
Germany, and we sometimes when we did shows, we would stay on base. You know, if they had like lodging on the base, like a hotel, and then sometimes, like this case, they put us up in this fucking bitchin' Marriott, like,
Nice.
but it was like,
A
I don't know,
German
10
Marriott.
minutes away. Yeah, it was like 10 minutes away
So was it a Fury yacht?
from the, yeah.
Sorry. Continue.
They had Minds Feet. No, just kidding.
Germans are
Jesus.
funny. They're funny.
Oh, they're hilarious.
It's like, yeah, it's one of the-
But and that was the cool thing about doing the cruise ships too, is because when we were in the Mediterranean, so like Americans were in the minority
Oh, that's fun.
there, so it was all like mostly
yelling?
people from Europe, and it's like the Germans, they're just so
Yelling.
polite a lot of times nowadays. Like if they don't like anything, I think they're still trying. Well, they're still trying to work off some of that stink from World War II.
Yeah, the
you know what I mean?
rebranding.
Like,
The rebranding
oh
stuff.
yeah, they've definitely got to.
Yikes.
But
This would be
they're
a
like,
good year
we
for
did
them to
not
be an
think
ally.
That, that was not our, cup of
Best-
tea, but if it was, they. So we're doing the show. We're staying like 10 minutes away from the base. So we do the show, and afterwards, a bunch of the enlisted folks are like, "Hey, you guys got to come out drinking with us." And I was like, "You got it."
With
And
the military
we closed
guys.
down. Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Nothing until they were all well behaved. Like
They're like, we're in the military in another country. We're gonna be good.
yeah, right.
We're
like
this comedian, this piece of shit.
Yeah, this shit show coming in like. So we closed down the bars there, and they invite us back on base, and we're partying in their barracks till like 3 something. We had to leave fairly early the next morning.
Oh no!
So at some point we're like, we gotta take our asses home. We're fucking wasted.
Right.
So they call us a cab, and we pour ourselves into the cab. And mind you, the hotel's only 10 minutes away.
Are you allowed to say who you were with?
Huh?
Are you allowed to say who you were with?
Yeah, it's the same dude that was pissed at me about the music.
For some reason, I thought you were with Jill Kimmel on this trip. Was that a different
She
trip?
was there. Yeah.
Oh, she was there?
Yeah, she was there, but she didn't.
She wasn't in the cab shit show?
No, it
Oh,
was
that's
just
good.
down to Brian and I.
That's why she still likes you.
No, here's the thing. She and I always get along because she was
her.
like
She's cool.
I always felt like I was the entertainment for the rest. Yeah, the rest
you
of the
are.
comedians.
That's why I was like, I am so excited about
because
today.
like the King of the Hill stuff I was doing earlier. She was like, do it again, say that. Because it was right down. It was right about when the Lil Jon album, turn down for what? That came out. So I, of course, on the bus would be like, turn down for what? Right. So
I'm gonna ask you to do that again.
So we had it was one of the other comics, this dude named Freddie Lockhart, who's fucking hilarious too. He's an LA comic. He does impressions as well. So we were constantly doing and he lived not too far away from Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh,
and
cool.
So we were always, I'd be like, hey, Freddie, I can't make it over. Like it was, so I got my tongue up this chick's ass,
my God.
right? Like, so between that and like the 40 things, like, yeah, kid, you got a lot of potential. We're going to put you in the talkies, see? We're going to make you a big star, kid. We're going to make you a big star. First, meet my friend P. Diddy. No.
So you were in the cab with the other guy.
We're on the way back, and we noticed the cab on the way back to the hotel, there's no meter in the cab.
Red flag.
But I'm like, well, this is my first time in Germany, and it is Germany, so maybe he was just keeping track in his head. You know what I mean?
How many kilometers?
1 kilometer?
Yeah. Sounds solid.
Nice weather we're having, yeah?
Yeah.
1.5 kilometers. You know what I mean? I don't know. So we get back to the hotel. Oh, no. And he turns around, and it's it's not even like a receipt or anything. It's like a scrap piece of paper. This is like a schnitzel recipe on here. Like, he says it reads €42 for a 10-minute ride back to and back then it was like 1.5 was the exchange rate. So this was like,
that's a lot.
It was like 2013. Yeah. So yeah.
So it should have been like $25 at the most, right?
Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, Jesus, that's like 50 $55, something like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
for a 10-minute ride, there's
Mhm.
UAs with cheaper rates. Than that.
Girl, I knew this trailer with
Yeah, we
dancers.
could have this place in Kansas. It would have really.
Wow. Yeah, that's pricey.
So, due to my bitch and negotiation skills, I get the dude all the way down to €40. And so I finally was just like, "Out of hell with it. Here's my credit card." And he was like, "Oh, credit card." He pulls out one of those old, like
Swipey things.
the carbon cop, the knuckle buster thing, where you have to,
Oh no.
you have like the signed copy, and they give you, it's like in duplicate, like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Which apparently sent me into a whole new dimension of pissed off. Like, I seriously, I'm looking at Brian, going, German engineering my ass, right? Like, this is bullshit. So I was like, Brian, check this out. And he knew me well enough to look on my face. He started, Chet, no. Too late. Instead of my signature, I wrote in big, bold letters, fuck you.
Oh God.
I do not recommend that at
In
all.
another country. Yeah.
They did not think it was nearly as funny as I did.
I think
because a couple hours later, I'm sound asleep in my hotel room, and I'm being shaken awake by 2 armed German police officers.
Shaken awake? They got into your room?
They were in my room because they were knocking, and I was like I was out. Well, I was drunk.
And then the hotel let him in your room.
Well, they're the police. The
Oh
police. Come on.
Oh,
so,
yeah, it's a little different than
so
here. You didn't ask for a warrant.
they're like, they have business with one of your guests. You know what I mean? So which is how this motherfucker sounded, right? Like I'm not exaggerating for the story. He literally had, it was like Colonel Klink from the fucking Hogan's Heroes. This is what I wake up to. Now, mind you, I'm wearing a pair of basketball shorts, and that's it. Like, nice. I've looked better.
At least you had the shorts on.
Yeah, at least it wouldn't roll out my dong hanging out. Night. Like, yeah. So,
wow.
He wakes me up, and I just see like gun and then Polly Zay, and I'm like, this is below average, right? Like, so
1 star.
I go, morning. Can I help you? And he's like, is your name Chad Miller?
Shit.
I'm like, oh, fuck. I go,
this is
yeah.
Not good.
And he goes, and did you take a taxi cab last night? I'm like, yeah, I did. And he goes, and did you write fuck you on the credit card receipt? And I'm like, I'm going, oh my God. So
is that technically illegal?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
It's considered credit card fraud if you don't sign your name.
Yeah, because it's somebody. It's not my signature. I get
Got
like.
it. Okay.
I didn't know. I just thought, what are they gonna do? Right. Well, I found out.
Next time, write "fuck you" and also sign your name.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Maybe sign my name and then go and P.S. Fuck you.
Yes,
or something like
that's
that.
more my style.
So, warmest regards and eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah.
No.
Nice.
So I immediately was put on like my best big boy voice, like I'm trying to be as like just as like remorseful. I'm like, look, I apologize. I said I did. I said I know it was very childish. I said, but here's the thing: we got in the cab. I noticed there was no meter, and the cop immediately is like, there was no meter. That is very troubling. I'm like, right?
Troubling.
Right? Yeah, I was troubled. Wait, that's
very troubling.
Yes, extremely troubled.
Meter.
And he goes, well, if that is true, then he is potentially in more troubles than you. I'm like, well, fuck this guy. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I got to be on a bus in an hour, bro. Yeah. Like, so God. He was very nice. And here was the thing. There were 2 of them. And the one guy did all the talking. And the other dude just stood there and didn't say anything.
Like
but here was the thing. No, well, he had a hoop earring up here.
Oh.
And I'm sitting here going,
that's progressive.
Right? And I'm sitting
German
here in
cop?
Germany?
Was he a dancer? Was this a prank?
That's what I start thinking. I'm going, okay, because like you said, Jill Kimmel's on this trip, Brian Rich, all these guys would definitely fuck with me in this kind of thing. And so I'm
still
going,
waiting for your birthday.
am I unpumped? Like I'm sitting here going, because I just remember like when they got Justin Timberlake, he was crying. And
Oh,
I'm
that
like,
was so funny.
and I'm sitting there going, oh no, I ain't
looking
going
for
out like
Velcro
that.
on the
I ain't
pants?
going out like that.
No.
So in my head for a second, I'm going, oh, I'm fitting to cause a scene. I'm glad I did not, because it was no prank.
Oh, you wouldn't have made your bus.
No, I would have been like, Midnight Express in fucking Germany, like,
oh no,
and taken to Pound Town.
So what was the backup dancer doing?
So he just was sitting there. He was just taking this all in. He didn't, like I said, he was just, I don't know, he did the backup. I don't know. So,
wow.
So I said, look, I like I said, it was very childish, and I'm really sorry. And I didn't mention the military at all, because I was like, I don't want them fucking finding out about this at all. Like, so I think now the statute of limitations is
He's great.
over.
He's very funny,
But
guys.
so he lets me off with a warning.
Okay.
But the thing was, he had to hear every detail of the story, very meticulous. And he kept saying "fuck you," right? So like
the German accent.
And and it's like all I can, like where you're talking about in church, like you're going,
I can't hold it in.
Right? Like,
we're comedians. We also find everything funny.
So he's like, oh, so then you wrote the fuck you? Oh, but then the fuck you. But then, then you said fuck you.
At what time?
Like,
what hour did you write the fuck you?
Right. And so I had to interrupt him. I was like, that's when I wrote what I wrote. Okay, please don't say it again. I'm going to pee. Like, I'm going to
pee. I'm just wearing these shorts.
Right.
My humble shorts. My morning shorts. Oh, boy.
So on his way out, he goes, he says, oh, by the way, well, you said you were here for work. What is it you do for a job? And I'm like, I go, well, if I'm being honest, I go, I'm a stand-up comedian. I said, however, that's not some of my better stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, trying to keep,
Bazinga.
Keep it light. And he says, and I this was so funny. He goes, I don't know. And he looks at his partner. He's like, we thought it was, how you say, pretty fucking funny. And I'm like, thank you.
Is that why he kept saying it?
I'm going to have a heart attack. Thank you. I'm going to
were they fucking with you?
I don't know.
Kind of like Super Troopers, they kept saying meow.
Yeah, right. I don't. Maybe that was their version, but I don't know, man. I think Germany.
Wow.
I think they probably weren't all that pleased until they were just like, okay, it's some drunk American.
I'd be very nervous traveling there. My dad worked for a German company, and the first day he comes home and he goes, I don't think they can take a joke. He's like, it's like a funeral every day in there. He worked for Siemens. Great company name, by the way. Let's name it Siemens. Fantastic choice, guys.
Hello,
add an I in there.
Welcome to Siemens. You're like,
so bad. And he wore this shirt, and I was like, Dad, please don't wear the Siemens shirt. He's like, it's a company picnic. I'm like, no one's gonna notice. Please don't wear the Siemens shirt.
Can we at least call it Simons?
Yeah,
Can we,
right.
Please.
Yes, adding that little I doesn't change it enough.
I'm
just saying. That's great. I'm glad you made it home.
Yeah, Germany was very eventful, because the night before is when I got sexually assaulted at the gay bar. That was on Jill.
Chad?
That was on Jill.
Did you say you were available and ready to rumble?
No, we were out to dinner on like one of the early nights there. We had a night off. So it was her and this comic here in Phoenix named Greg Freiler, who's a very funny dude and a great dude. But most importantly, in this trip, he was my shadow because he speaks German.
Oh.
So I was
helpful.
like, you are here to keep Daddy out of jail, right? Because
yes.
he wasn't there. He wasn't there that night. That's
that
why.
Would have been way better.
See, I was like, I hate to say, I told you so, Greg, but you didn't hang out, and I almost got arrested.
See, yes.
So we go.
Wow.
Jill, after dinner, she's like, hey, let's find a place to dance, right? We need to. And so I was like,
of course
okay.
She did.
So this is when I was still smoking, and I'm outside having a cigarette. Oh, I didn't take weed on that trip. I'm like, I'm not. No, I'm not going to risk that.
You want to pull a Britney in another country? Is her name Britney the basketball?
No, I'm not going to. That was the thing when I had the chips, all that stuff. If I could find it in port, I'd smoke the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And then
leave it there.
Yes, and then come back high. And,
exactly. There's ways.
But I'm like, am I really going to get thrown off a boat for weed? Like, come on, man. Like, so we go to this I see this club across the way, and it's got like the neon signs and like the
Yes.
playing, and so I'm thinking, perfect.
I hear
Like this is where
fun.
we'll go. So as we walk up, the door is a rainbow.
Yes.
And so Jill is like, "Oh, if you guys don't want to go,
Maybe they're
we could
just
find
happy.
somewhere else." And I was like, "Oh, hold on. First of all, this is not my first gay bar. Okay,
The drinks are doubles.
straight fellas, if you've not been to a gay bar, I highly recommend.
Oh,
It is a party.
The drinks are fantastic.
It's such a good time.
I feel so pretty in a gay bar, honestly.
All right, and listen,
yeah.
if like
love
if
me.
if like a and if I'm getting hit on by a gay guy, my ego is out of control.
Mine
like,
too.
Are you kidding me? Like, I'm like, fuck, even men want some
can
of
I turn
this.
him?
Like,
Can I
yeah,
turn him?
right?
I don't know. He likes my hair and my boobs.
So, at first, the bartender was kind of a dick when we sat down because he thought we were going to be drunk Americans, and you know.
Were you wearing a fanny pack or anything?
No.
Okay.
No. Do I strike you as a fanny pack kind of guy?
No,
like,
that would be great.
Unless it had like a skull or something.
A manly fanny pack.
Right. Is there such a thing?
No,
I don't think there's such a thing.
They don't exist. They're in the Birkenstocks aisle. They're next to the Crocs.
Right next to the Uggs.
Yes.
So it turns out, and once he was like, "Oh, we're just hanging out, having fun," he was actually really cool. And then when he starts flirting with me, and like overtly, like and he tells Greg, he goes, "Hey, if he comes home with me tonight, he goes, I'll take care of your tab." And I was like, "Okay, time out, bro. Hold on.
I'll pay.
How much is the tab, though?" I'm kind of, you know what I mean? I'm like,
what's my street value?
Yeah. I was like, "What's the market price of Chad going for?" Like,
wow.
Yeah, about $45 American. So yeah, I
maybe you just want to hold hands.
So Jill is like, "Hey, you guys should take a picture together," and I was like, "Yeah, okay." So I'd been drinking, so we're doing this. I'm probably like doing one of these,
Sure.
So
nothing says rock and roll like a gay bar in Germany.
He's got like his head on my shoulder, and he's doing this, and then Jill takes a picture. She goes, "Oh, let me take another one," because you know how you ladies are. You can't just take one picture.
I just go for the one that has one chin. It usually takes a few shots.
And so then second picture, he starts rubbing my chest.
Oh.
And I'm like, actually, Udo, that feels kind of nice.
Ooh.
And then she takes a picture. She goes, maybe one more. I'm like, I think we got it. I think we got
it. We got it, Jill.
So Lauren, he goes from rubbing my chest to like he is in my pants. He's barehanding my lunch at this point, right? Like, and I'm I'm like frozen shocked.
Now that's service.
Because I'm like, I'm wearing a shirt. Like, how did he go like down then up then down again so quick? And he like
just that in Catholic school.
He just goes like and is out.
Wow.
And Jill actually snapped the picture at the perfect time. You can see the blur from his hand.
And your eyes real big.
And I'm no longer touching him at this point. I'm like,
awesome.
And it's actually, if you on my website, it's on my website.
Oh,
it's
great.
on the chadcomedy.com.
Yeah, I was going to ask you your handle so everyone can find you.
All my social media is Chad Comedy, like Instagram's at Chad Comedy. Yeah, Snapchat, all that stuff.
Well, at least you're popular, hun.
But it's the first picture on that page because it's so funny.
That's great.
Yeah, it's the caption is "The Great German Dong Caper." So.
What a great trip.
But that's I always have drama with like
why you need to travel. It's good stand-up material.
Yeah.
And that does remind me, before we wrap up for the night, I was going to ask you, do you have any? I don't even know where we're at time-wise. Are we an hour in? I don't even know. We gave up on clocks here, so I don't know. Okay. I was going to ask you, because you do work in bartending, do you have any funny stories from behind the bar, like where you've had customers that are a little kooky?
Yeah. Well, there was, I guess, the thing. This wasn't like kooky in a way. It was just kind of sad. I guess like a new thing now with the online dating is there's a thing where guys will like just dip out on the date. Like there was this couple sitting at the bar and they were talking. It looked like everything was going okay, right? Like and then all of a sudden I look around look back over there, and the woman is by herself. Now the woman was kind of a smoke show. Like she was
Huh.
pretty steamy. I was like, would it be bad form if the guy left her high and dry for me to go? Well, he left. What say we'd rather drink? Like that'd be kind of a douche move.
I
So,
think it would have made her feel better, honestly.
but the thing, yeah, the move is, I guess, is you excuse yourself to go to the bathroom or something like that, and then just sneak out. And
Wow.
he left her with the check
Is this? Have you seen this more than once? That's awful.
just once, thankfully.
Wow.
But there have been a few first
Wow.
dates where
You
one of
became the
them
date.
will just freak out for no reason, like
Freak out
well,
on a date?
or that
Like
I
yelling?
don't hear that I don't. There could very well be a reason, but yeah, all of
Wow.
a sudden I've seen where a drink get thrown
Ooh, I wouldn't do
like
that.
right in the middle.
I've left during dinner before. I had one guy
Yeah,
ask me out. He knew my religious and political views, so I put them on there because it's like you want to be compatible with somebody. I'm like, okay, so if you knew that, and we are the
yeah.
total
Why would you ask
opposite.
me out? Like,
Exactly. Because
right?
I don't care about that stuff. Like I was really open minded. I go with all different kinds of people.
Sure.
And he brought me out to antagonize me, is what he was doing during the date. And I was like, well, this has been fun. I was like, you're probably broke too, so here's a 20. I'm gonna go. And I got up from the table. But it was like I've had two where I left during, but I
Why would
wouldn't leave them sitting there like an asshole. Like, even though they were mean to me, I was like, listen, like this,
see
like
now that I would say just yeah, fuck that guy, leave
yeah.
him.
I was like, hey, like obviously this, like we had a different plan for the evening. So like I'm glad you're enjoying debate club, but I'm gonna go. Like I don't even like talking about religion or politics, so why are you like that's horrible
Yeah,
first
that's a
date stuff.
terrible,
Oh, it was
especially at a
awful.
bar. You don't
Yeah.
talk about that shit at a bar.
No, it was not fun.
That's why
No.
I don't talk about that shit on stage. Like I feel
No.
like I probably should, like, because I
No.
love that stand up has been like the people that say what other people won't say. Like I like that
Yes.
about comedy.
Yeah.
Like I really like. Have you seen the Brady roast? Have you watched that
I've
yet?
been hearing things. Is it funny?
There's well, first of all, my biggest bitch about it was that it's 3 goddamn hours long.
Oh.
3 hours. Like I don't.
Joan Rivers was only like an hour, I think.
It should only be like an hour, hour and a half. Like what?
Wow. Okay.
And there were some absolute turds on the show
Oh.
that shouldn't have been. Like Ben Affleck came out, he was just chotched up on the cocaine.
Wait, he was one of the people roasting?
Yeah, but he
That's
did this
weird.
weird thing where it was like he was defending Tom Brady against online trolls when it really just like I was like, you're talking about yourself here, Ben. Like
Weird.
Tony Hinchcliffe absolutely destroyed the Kill Tony guy.
Okay. Yes.
That which I don't watch the podcast like
Right.
except for one episode.
Our favorite episode.
I did watch one
This
episode.
is when we
and
look at the
quite
camera.
frankly,
Our favorite episode.
our favorite, Mark Quinn, eat a dick. Uh,
I wasn't gonna say it. All right.
well, that was a
He's mean to
name.
me.
That was a name a family member made up anyway. That's not even. But that Dane Cook was never funnier, by the way, than on that show. But Tony absolutely killed. He did this. The joke he had about Bert Kreischer was
check it out.
was so funny. What's his name? Andrew Schultz.
Oh, okay.
Schultz destroyed Nikki Glazer, of course.
Yeah, she's funny.
She constantly.
They have her on all the time.
She,
They have who's the other comedian that's always in weird outfits? Is like cornrows.
Jeff Ross.
Yeah, he's kind of.
He was there.
Was he funny?
He was the first one.
He's pretty funny usually.
He came out dressed as OJ.
One time he was Prince, wasn't he? Another
Yeah,
one? Yeah, he's
yeah,
funny.
and then
I like him.
the Franco roast. He was dressed like James Franco in
Yes.
one of his movies.
Oh, that's
that
funny.
was with the cornrows
Was that? Oh, got
and
it.
the neck tattoo.
I was
Yeah,
wondering
that
why he
was.
doing that. Got it.
Well, then he came out as Gaddafi one time. Remember that?
Yes,
yeah.
That's great.
He was great. Nikki Glazer, I
I'll have to
thought
check
was
it out.
I thought she just owned it.
Wow.
Like she won the roast if there is such a thing.
Awesome.
But I love that kind of stuff. But I'm not that comic. Like
No.
I'm not. I just want to be entertaining. Like I don't want that division in the
Sure.
like we were saying with dates and politics and stuff like that. Why
No.
would you bring that
No.
up at a bar? And
No. And before we go, I do want to ask you one more thing.
yeah,
I always ask the women, like, worst date they were on, worst dating experience. I haven't really had the male perspective, so agreed. Let's not talk about religion or politics. That should be like
sure.
a de facto thing for
Well, I mean,
Really,
if
most
you're
things.
getting into like a serious relationship, then
You
at
need
some
yeah,
point
you need
that'll
to talk
be, I
about it.
guess,
That's a
yeah.
couple, weeks to months in, sure.
But
But date
first date
first,
of
no.
plenty of fish, probably
Don't
not.
talk about your medical ailments. Don't talk about your baby daddy drama, like all
Any
that.
of that shit,
No,
like Jesus, like
no.
save
Like they're
some
not your
for
therapist. Like
right.
don't tell too much too soon. I think that's all really bad.
Yeah.
But have you had any like before we go? I want to know really quick. Have you had any like kooky women? Because I've had lots of kooky guys, and guys
Yeah.
can be scary because like they potentially they could kill us.
I
And
have
women
I
are
have
not
I have
guilt
two
free.
real quick ones.
Sure.
One was after my wife and I decided we were
Better as friends.
splitting up. Yeah.
Okay.
I was working a club out of state, and I had a woman come up to me after the show and said she loved the show and was like, "Hey, we should have some sex." And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds great." She goes, "I should tell you that I'm married." I'm like, "Probably should have opened with that." Probably.
Let's
I'm
open
just
with that.
saying. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Because no thanks. I
It's
don't
awkward.
want to be that dude. She goes, "No, no, no, no. It's cool. It's cool. We're open. We swing." And I go, "Okay." And she goes, "But he just has to be in the room." And I'm like, "Nah, thank you."
No.
Because in
No.
my mind, I'm too cynical. I'm like, I'm seeing there's no way he's not in a Batman mask. Like there's
Right?
not, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's
Was he gonna sit
just,
in the corner and play with himself?
where are the drugs going? Like I
No.
know he's.
That's awkward.
And then the second one, it was the my one and only experience with another comic, uh, who
Never a good
we'd
idea.
seen each other a couple times, fooled around, and then I was at a mic,
Oh.
and it just went sideways because
Don't name the
because
comic.
no, of course not.
Oh.
I was still legally married to
Ooh.
my wife
So then
there
you were
was
the swinger, Chad.
no, but we were separated, just
Sure.
hadn't been
Okay.
put because a lot of it has to do with my son and
Sure.
I saw siblings go through hell with
Sure.
that, with
The
being
ink was still
separated
wet. I
and
got you.
the
I got
and
you.
the kind of back and forth between games with kids and stuff
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
not nice.
Oh, well, we're not married anymore, so you don't get to. Anyways, so she snapped and was like, was was saying very loudly, like, you know, your dick's been in my mouth and you're
Oh.
still married, and it was
Oh. At the mic?
yeah, like it was afterwards in the
Ooh.
parking lot, and I was just like,
Whoa.
I wasn't, I was
Okay,
like,
sailor, tone it down a notch.
well, I'm just going. This just,
That's not a
I
good
think
ad.
this just looks bad for you. I mean,
That's not
I
how the
don't.
Notebook is supposed to end.
You
It
know
was
what I mean?
us.
Like, and so I was just like,
Whoa.
okay,
Ooh.
okay. Now,
Our little mystery lady.
granted, she was very drunk,
Okay.
and
Sure.
I was not.
Oh, that's worse. Yeah, sloppy.
I was drinking still at the time, but I
Yeah.
wasn't drunk.
Clearly, you
And
remember it, so
well,
fun.
yeah,
So,
and
ladies, don't get sloppy.
well, and it
It's
was
not a
just
good look.
weird. And it was very.
No.
I was
Be
not
aloof.
expecting that at all.
No.
I didn't see that coming at all, and so
Well,
yeah,
no. Who
I
would
was
see
like,
that coming?
I was just like, okay, maybe we just shouldn't hang out. And we're still friendly and stuff like
That's
that. We
good.
don't like. There's not. I don't want to throw her under the bus or anything.
Now, I've dated 2 comedians. I'll just leave with this. I never did that. When it didn't work out, I would just make sure I looked fabulous, and I would bring my dates to their shows.
Well, there you
Caddy.
go. And just sit up front.
Yeah,
like, right.
of course. Yeah. And
Doing
it worked.
like maybe
Mission accomplished. Then I get a
playing
text
the
going, "You look
popcorn
great,
game.
by the way." Oh, do I? Thanks.
Oh, see. And fellas, if
Know how to
that
play,
shit
ladies.
happens, don't send the text to do that because you see what happens.
I didn't say who it was.
I know. I'm just saying. If that happens and that, comics and
Yes.
then just play it cool. Like that's
Yeah.
why I'm like there's very few comics that I'm like, nah, I don't want to work with. And the one I mentioned, I have no problem. Like we've been on shows
just
since.
hustle out of the club quickly. Don't
Yeah,
don't linger in the parking lot, Chad.
No, we've been on shows since and hung out afterwards, and there hasn't been any drama. We just don't fool around anymore. That's all. Yeah.
It's not how the Notebook's supposed to end. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for the love advice. I appreciate that.
I
Ladies,
do what
just
I can.
be chill. Just be chill. All right, this has been the Lauren Rachel Talk Show with my very good friend Chad Miller. You can find him on Chad Comedy.
Yeah,
And all the
chadcomedy.com. Yeah,
All right.
everything
Oh.
except YouTube because some
Yes.
dick took chadcomedy.com and all this dude does is repost other people's funny videos.
Oh, that's annoying.
So YouTube is chadmillercomedy.com.
Oh, and you're going to be at Mic Drop Mania soon.
Yes. Yes, sorry.
You're headlining. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, it's July 7th. We're doing the show that you recently did.
Cool Kids Comedy Club benefit.
For Cool Kids Comedy Club benefit. We'll be at Mic Drop Mania in downtown Chandler,
Awesome.
July 7th, 6 o'clock. Tickets are still available.
Cool.
It's a Sunday. I know it's July 4th weekend, but it's a Sunday. It's an
Funday.
early show. It's a great cause. The charity seems really cool, and it seems like they're doing a lot of really cool things. And I'm really,
you're gonna do great.
I'm really stoked to be a part of it.
Yes.
They were
All right.
They were nice enough to have me.
I'll come check it out.
Cool.
All right. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah,
this was
thank
really
you.
fun. I like your accents. Do the German accent when we're cleaning up.
Yes, that will be all now. We will be signing off. Remember to spay and neuter your pets.
Thanks for being on the show.